Good day, everybody. Welcome back to another tying video here. Today we're tying up a requested pattern. Had one of the viewers ask about a Caddis Pupa, so figured I'd tie it up for him. This is kind of my go-to caddis. Fairly simple tie, and it is an effective pattern too, so thought I'd share it. It's called the UV Caddis Pupa. So I've got a size 8 Togan scud hook in the vise, and on that hook I've got a 1/8 of an inch black bead, and I'm tying with some dark brown 70 denier ultra thread. So we're just going to go ahead and get started here. And first material I'm going to tie in is some pearl flashabou, and this is number 6905. So we'll just take one strand of that and go ahead and tie it in and work our way down to the bottom of the hook here. And we'll just set that off to the side. Now what I've got here is some UV2 Spirit River Caddis nymph dubbing, and we're going to end up using two colors of this, but for the body, you can vary the body color on this, of course, but this particular one I tie in olive, and so I'll just use some of the olive nymph dub here and dub ourselves a body. And you don't need to be light on the dubbing here. These caddis are quite plump, so I can go ahead and just dub a nice fat body on here. And just little bits at a time. Don't have to overdo it. You want to bring it up to kind of the 3/4 point, kind of 3/4 of the way back up to the bead. And I think we'll do just a little bit more here. That looks pretty good there. So then we'll go ahead and take our flashabou, and we're just going to counter wrap that just to segment our body. And we can go ahead and tie that off, trim out our excess. And then what we're going to do is, now I've got some mallard flank, and this as well is in olive, so we're just going to pluck a little bit off of a feather. I don't know, there's probably a dozen or so fibers there, and we're just going to lay this along each side, and you want these to just about touch the back of the hook. So get those tied into each side here. Just do equal amounts on both sides. I don't like the look of that stuff. look better there. That tied in. Just clean up these butts here. There we go. Okay, now what I've got is some scudback, and this is the brown stone. So I'm going to tie this in. Just center it like so. Just wrap it right back to where that dubbing finishes. Make sure you don't have a gap there. If your legs move on you, you can just kind of bend them back into shape, press them against the body there. That looks good. And now we're going to go back to the UV dubbing again. This time I'm going to use the dark brown. And so we'll just go ahead and dub a little bit of a thorax here. That looks pretty good there. We're going to go ahead and pull our scud back over the top. Just tie that off. Couple wraps in front. Now I'll just give it a quick 1-turn or 2-turn whip finish just to lock that scud back in place, and if you give this a decent tug, it'll suck right back in underneath for you. Now we're going to tie in a couple pieces of pheasant tail, and this is just a natural colored pheasant tail. So just one piece per side. Same thing, you want these to kind of reach back to that to the back edge of the fly. Go a little bit further than that if you like. Just pull it to the length that you're happy with, and grab your other one and do the same thing. That looks good for now. You can kind of get those into shape by just kind of crimping them afterwards. So tie those, just cut those butts out and just clean them up. And if you just give these a push, they'll sit back the way you want them. And now just one last step, go back to a little more of the brown dubbing. Again, not much right here. Just kind of covering up those thread wraps in front. Just like so. And go ahead and give it a whip finish. And that's about all there is to her. You can, again, just push those pheasant tails and they'll kind of crimp them a little bit down at the bottom. And they'll sit back the way you want them. You just want them angled back like that. And then if you take a little bit of a dubbing brush here, you can just come down on the bottom and brush out some of this brown dubbing. And just have that flowing back. And that right there looks about the way I want it. So there it is. That's the UV Caddis Pupa. Hope you enjoyed the video. Cam, thank you very much for the request. If you'd like to see anything else done, then Don't be scared to let me know. Just leave a comment down in the comment section. Subscribe if you haven't yet. We've got a lot more videos coming out, but there you go. That's the UV Caddis Pupa. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.